So I feel like I was looking at the wrong place the whole time. So it might look like I was not looking in the camera, but I'm adjusting that now. I'm looking right in the camera. So I'm making eye contact. It's a learning process. You leave and you learn. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hillman here. As you may or may not be able to tell already, we're doing things a little different now. So I am venturing into the world of podcasting. Yes, we are podcasting and broadcasting live. Not really live, but yeah, basically I'm going to start venturing into the world of podcasting. Trying to use this platform to tell my story, maybe help others, navigate some difficulties which they are going through, which I may have already gone through. Talk about some topics which just need to be talked about. I'm surrounded constantly by amazing people who have incredible stories and incredible experiences to share. So why not create the platform? So basically it's going to be a podcast hosted by me. But hopefully we're going to have a lot of people on the podcast, people who just come from different places, speak different languages and all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. So I am excited about this. I am excited to be podcasting and broadcasting, yo. But yeah, let's not talk too much, right? I have a topic for today. I didn't just come to tell you guys I'm podcasting. No, I have a topic for today. And basically, I would like to start with something which is very fundamental, and it's mindset, right? And I would like to approach this from a different perspective today. I would like to basically tell a little story about myself, right? As most of you may or may not already know, I'm from Cameroon. And growing up, there was something peculiar about the mindset which I had, which I only realized that now pretty much because I had to make some adjustments. But growing up, I never really had a mindset of my own, if that makes sense. The culture where I grew up in, it's always, elders tell you what to do. Teachers in school tell you what to do. You can never know more than your teacher, right? You, for example, questioning a teacher or questioning an elderly person is a sign of disrespect. So we grow up never really knowing what it's like to critically think about things, because it's always take what you're told and sit quiet. And that really has an effect on you without you even knowing it consciously. It has a subconscious effect on you, because pretty much what that does is it doesn't give you room to form your own mindset. It doesn't give you room to shape your own learning process. It doesn't give you room to be a master of your knowledge acquisition process, pretty much. And I know that only really struck me when I came to the Netherlands and I came to Europe. And of course, Europe's all about critical thinking and promoting people to think for themselves and try to, come up with solutions to problems which are facing their everyday lives. And I noticed I didn't really have an opinion about anything. You would ask me something, and of course, everyone has an opinion. If you think you don't have an opinion about something, you're most likely lying to yourself. So everyone has an opinion, right? But I know I would be asked for my opinion on something, but I would convince myself I have no opinion, or I would just not dare to express my opinion, right? Because the whole process of, having your own opinions and having that wired into your mindset is just something which is foreign, or was foreign for me, because I've never really been trained to do that. I've been trained to, go sit in the lecture halls, take the lessons, taking the knowledge, reproduce it in the exams, and you'll be good, right? There was never the narrative of go to the lecture hall, taking the knowledge, try to think about it, integrate it into your society, make it practical enough, make it tangible so you can use to solve real day problems, and then reproduce it. That was never the process for me. So all of a sudden I found myself in this setting where that was going to be the new process for me now. That was going to be the new flow. I had to think critically. I had to have my own opinions. I had to use my unique perspective to shape my own learning process and my acquisition of knowledge and stuff like that. So that for me was really interesting, and it really pushed me to just, reflect and think of how it was. And I think I understand that to some degree, because I lived with parents. I lived with people. I was dependent on other people. So you cannot say I'll just wake up one morning and challenge them, and they consider that disrespectful, and there's repercussions, of course, and you're chased out of the house, for example, or you have other even more serious repercussions. You can't do that when you're dependent on someone, And now that I have the freedom, I'm no longer dependent on anyone, in a manner of speaking. I have the freedom to reflect and think about this, right? So I think it is quite tricky if you're living in Cameroon, for example, and you're dependent, to actually think for yourself and start questioning things and critically thinking about stuff, because you don't really have the liberty to do that. But I also think, on the other hand, it takes emotional maturity to, identify some things that potentially hold us back, because this mindset is the foundation for a lot of other things. The fact that we cannot have a problem solution mindset, for example, is a result of this, for example. So it's like this is a foundation for a lot of other things that come afterwards as effects. And I feel like it takes a lot of emotional maturity to be like, to say to yourselves, okay, I know I may not be in the best position to tackle this and to improve in this domain, but I'm going to be aware of the fact that this is holding me back to some degree. So if I see an opportunity to, think differently or change my mindset or react differently to certain situations, I would do that, because I know that is a better path to venture on than what I'm currently on now. And I feel like that is something which for me was just, it was a monumental, just when I was able and given the liberty to think for myself and, shape my own being and shape my learning process and actually, learn stuff that is practical to me and the society I'm living in, because that's all what we're trying to do, trying to solve problems. Entrepreneurs, all they do is they look for problems, find solutions to that, and boom. You can't be in Cameroon learning medicine and you're only learning how medical pathologies are identified on a white or Caucasian patient. What are you, that doesn't make sense. Like, you have to be acquiring knowledge which you can use practically to implement in your society and solve problems. And I feel like that's something which at least I know I lacked just from my whole learning experience. There are a lot of things which Cameroon definitely instills in you with the educational system and just cultural learning, the learning process in general. But I feel like this is one aspect where it really is lacking. Just, leaving a more instructive way of education or learning to a more constructive. So less of you just take instructions and you execute. You're not a robot, you're not a machine. Rather go to a more constructive where people facilitate and enhance your own learning process and your whole acquisition of knowledge. And I think that is something which is really powerful, and that's something which I just hope a lot of young people nowadays can, learn. Just they can internalize that more critical thinking, because I think we all can be entrepreneurs, not really, but there is a lot of room for entrepreneurs. For example, in Cameroon, there is a lot of room for that, and I feel like the more we try to change our mindset and the more we try to move from an instructive to a constructive way of thinking, I feel like that's the better we're going to get eventually in just tackling problems which we face in our everyday lives. But that was it, guys, for the first episode of I don't know what I'm going to call this podcast yet, but it's going to get a name eventually. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the names, something I should call the podcast or the whole channel rebranding or whatever. Let me know. Let me know if there's other topics you want me to talk about. I'll be sure to talk about that. I'll be sure to invite people over to the channel who probably can talk about that. But yeah, guys, I just hope we can use this platform to share knowledge and help each other grow, help each other with problems we might be facing. Because at the end of the day, we all need each other. I hope this was helpful to someone. And until next time, stay blessed.